Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to a new high-level game of StarCraft 2. Today in the bottom right with the polar bear and the polar bear print next to his command center, it is the yellow Terran player Liquid's Clem. And in the top left as our blue Zerg player, playing for Team Ents Esports, it's going to be Serral here with, what is this, a gun and a baseball bat or something like that? And a skull, so a little more dangerous here than a polar bear. Clem, of course, also in front of his name says the word mlem, and mlem is the sound that the polar bear makes when he licks something. This is how it has been explained to me, and this is how I will continue explaining it to everyone that is confused by mlem. It is not some type of wordplay on Clem, at least not that I'm aware of. Now, we are going to be seeing a very standard Clem game, most likely. First barracks is at home. He's going to send this SCV out across... Ooh, maybe he's not going to send this SCV out across the map. Maybe he's not going to scout. That would be very un-Clem-like, though. Clem always scouts in this matchup, because he does not like falling behind against any type of early pulls, against any roach rushes. It's going to be a reactor first here, so this is a major switch up in Clem's world. This really is, because Clem is the Reaper man, and especially on a map like Berlingrad, I am very surprised to see a reactor first here coming out of the French Terran player. This really is somewhat surprising to me. I wonder what his follow-up is going to be here then. Maybe some type of 3-Rex play is a possibility. Of course, he has that fantastic Reaper control, and we will not be seeing that this time around, unless he opens up with 2 Reapers, but that also isn't going to be the case. So, a surprising start here all around. Factory will start after the depot, and we'll have a couple of Marines, maybe try to snipe an Overlord here and there. See Serral hiding this drone near the extractor, hugging that extractor. If the Reaper man ever shows up, he can always start an extractor. 28 hatchery after that Overlord. This is what I believe is called the Clash Opener, or the Extended Clash Opener, which is with the hatchery at 28. This is a little bit weak to 3-Rex Reaper. When I say a little bit weak, I think it is a default loss versus triple Rex Reaper, if I recall correctly when I was talking with Zerg. Now, Clem, of course, not a player that actually plays triple Rex Reapers. Honestly, there's almost no one in the world anymore that plays any type of multiple barracks Reaper. I think Cure and Special have played it a little bit. And maybe Maru did it once as well, but from what I recall, only Cure and Special do it somewhat regularly. And Cure often as well puts those first 2 barracks in a proxy location if he does play it. So it's a little bit different. In that case, this Serral opener would be weak, but against those players, maybe he might play something else. Clem, of course, known to be a player. Ooh, look at that. He sneaked around all the vision here out of Serral. Serral, lacking the knowledge right now, does not know that this is coming. Well, he's not going to lose this Overlord. Could maybe lose a couple of links. Roach Warren's getting built here already. Ooh, these Marines just showed their face. Are we going to see some links in production? Yep, 2, 4. Where are you gonna stop, Serral? How many queens do you need? How many links do you need against this? When you have, what, 2, 3 queens in position already? There's 2 more queens being built. No, just 1 more queen being built right now. With that Roach Warren. I think Serral actually was planning on going for a bit of a Roach all-in. This is almost I don't want to say a default win here for Clem, but this looks really good for Clem as he's following this up with Banshees. Banshees are very solid against early roaches. These links are not going to be capable of catching this Marine force either, so a lot of units are getting forced out right now. Serral attacking his own queen. Oi, 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 oi. Tries to get the throne herself, but that's not quite what happened. No backstabbing here in this Zerg army. How is it even possible that this society functions with so many different queens? I guess if everyone knows that Kerrigan is the ultimate queen, it doesn't really matter, right? If these roaches make their way across the map without being spotted, that'd be frustrating, but Clem wouldn't be Clem if he would allow that to get across the map without being spotted. This Banshee is going to see what's kicking off. Clem will end up losing these Marines for, well, most likely completely free. But at the same time, we'll also take out these roaches. And I don't think these roaches are going to be capable of doing too much. The one Ravager is going to get built. Do you want to target that down? I think the answer might just be no. Cheeky little depot drop there. Hey, this guy guy's a risky player. He's like, I don't give a crap. I can drop that depot if I want to. There's a lot of units here though out of Serral. But even with a lot of units, there's still that one Banshee just chipping away time after time, time after time. Mine is burrowing as well right now. A cancel on this command center would already be huge, and honestly more than I'd expect from this situation. Serral also not throwing away his links is probably the correct move. He is going to throw away his roaches, but he kind of was forced to. We don't even see a worker pool back into the main base. No, Clem just gets to stay at home and is in an absolutely fabulous position at this point. Just in a pretty decently sized lead. We have these 2 extra barracks coming up. We have the double eBay as well starting. And immediately that factory switching over to the tech lab. Which means that we're going to be seeing some tank production over here. I'm not saying that the first tank push is going to kill Serral. But there is the potential that that might happen. Depending on what Serral is going to be following up with. If Serral decides to follow this up with Ravager, Ling, Bane. Yeah, there definitely is a chance that that first push is going to work. However, if it's going to be a 1-1 roach type of deal, a tank push isn't really going to kill anyone. And although, of course, it is going to be a powerful tank push because Serral's early game was so weak. Ooh, losing those Hellions is kind of bad. That does relieve a lot of pressure here for Serral. Now, these 2 Banshees are still going to go in and maybe get a couple of worker kills, but that really is a waste. Hellbats with such a push would have been helpful. Yeah, it seems like Serral is going to stick, at least for now, with the roach upgrades. Not getting Carapace. Here we go, Carapace. So at least initially some roaches. What I was going to say is that although this is going to be a strong tank push, it is not a 2-base all-in. This is not a 5 racks, fast tanks, bang, 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 we're going to destroy you. No, this is more a, hey, I have my good eco here as a Terran player, and I'm going to follow this up with some tank pressure. A couple of workers are actually going to get taken out here, and Serral trying to even out this game, and I think he's doing a pretty decent job. First off, taking those Hellions, and now getting a couple of worker kills without really losing anything. Infestation pit already on the way. And a 4th base as well, and I'm kind of getting Cave Bob-like vibes. Now, for the people who are not aware of what the Cave Bob is, the Cave Bob is this picture that should pop up on screen right now if I did my job in the editing room. And it is basically a pretty brain-dead style, and initially considered not a very good style by especially European Zergs, and thus they start referring to it as the Cave Bob. And it basically is a defensive roach play into quick lurkers, and sometimes a couple of infestors get mixed in as well over there. And what this allows the Zerg often is to stay alive, but they stay alive on low eco, difficult to take a 5th base, and incapable of doing any type of major run-bys towards the Terran, because there's no banelings available. Roaches are complete and utter garbage in run-bys against Terran. So most people would not recommend doing any type of like 5 roach run-by into a 3rd. It also just doesn't kill workers that quickly if you pull them away. So yeah, it's a style that is kind of scoffed at. But in this type of situation, it's a perfectly viable and fine style to play because it's easy to stay alive. And you kind of guarantee yourself this early stage of the mid game at least with the lurkers. 99% of the time, you're going to be capable of surviving till there. Now, for Clem, the plan here should be pretty clear. Often against this, it's best to just take a faster forward base, continue your tank production, and straight up start building Ghost as soon as you can. The moment you do that, it's going to be really difficult to lose to this style called the Cave Bob. And you could even get like an orbital on the fourth base. Attacking into this, however, yeah, things could go wrong. Oh my good lord, things can go wrong. Things are going completely wrong over here. Fungals hitting the absolute dead center of this marine ball, and I think like 30-40 marines just end up dying. How many marines have we lost far? 40 marines have gone down so far. I think this is the first real push that we're seeing with marines. So yeah, we literally just saw 40 marines die. And this is one of the things that once you identify that it is the Cave Bob, I don't think you should really be doing. I do not believe that this is the attacking into it, losing your tank count, is necessarily a very good play. Because now it's going to be harder to stop any type of lurker aggression. You lost 2 tanks, you lost a bunch of marines, you don't really have map control anymore. and your ghost transition still needs to start, but all of this could have been done without losing the units in the middle of the map. Maybe having a little bit more map control, maybe having a little bit more defensive power as well. We immediately see Serral take control of this game right now though. Immediately realizes, hey, I've done enough. I can now actually be on the map. And these lurkers are going to start moving in. Sensor tower's not quite done yet, so Clem is not aware of what's kicking off here on the far left side. Scan is available. No, it's not. This command center's taking a fair chunk of damage as well. It's the first two workers on Clem's side are going to get taken out. This is a good split on these Marines and Marauders, by the way. Holy crap. Not many Terrans would have been able to clean this up so easily, but of course Clem always will get those good splits, those good concaves. The good setups here for the engagements. That's his real power in almost every single matchup. It's just the ease at which he takes good engagements with. Definitely showed here. Now, supply looks really bad for Clem. And obviously the game isn't ideal. Like, I'm not going to be lying about that. But this is a playable game nonetheless. There's 6 tanks out. That is a decent defensive setup. Turrets are going up in the main base, preparing for any type of Nidus, and we did see the Nidus network just now finish up over here. Big setup over here though at this third base. Ooh, good pickup out of Clem there on the tank, paying attention to every little detail. Lift on the command center. 6 workers will fall. Do we have another scan? No, I'm not quite sure if we do. We do, however, have a couple more tanks setting up, and now the scans need to start sweeping. Because without scans, this is going to be difficult to clean up. It really is. Only 3 orbital commands. That means you're not going to be having too many scans here, honestly. It means we're hardly going to be having any type of scans. It's going to hit one of these lurkers. Now needs to start moving forward. Because he wasn't quite aware of the exact position of the lurkers, of course. Now that he is aware, he's like, well, that's great, but you're gone already, and starts rotating towards the far right side. Turret is going to finish up in time, but no tanks once again in position. Turret will get taken out. Scan needs to be used right now. A couple of balls will rain down from the sky, but I'm afraid that this planetary might be in a little bit of trouble. Tank sieging up. That's going to get a lot of fire on these lurkers. The lurker count surprisingly low, by the way, only on 3. So despite Serral seemingly being in control, it does feel like he needs to be a little bit careful. His gas count is very low. He's only on 8 gases still. He's trying to pop out basically everything at the same time right now. We're seeing Vipers coming in, Neural Parasite, Burrow, Adrenal Glands, +3 Carapace, as well as melee upgrades. And a lot of gas is being sunk into those upgrades. I would not mind seeing some extra extractors being taken here for the Finnish Zerg player, because his lurker count is currently at 2. And a Ling Hydra Roach army, especially if your Ling army has no upgrades whatsoever except for the Carapace, yeah, I don't think you're going to get the greatest fights here, honestly. This seems somewhat dangerous here. This really does seem dangerous for Serral. This is a scary fight. I don't think he should have taken that. There's too many tanks in position. There were ghosts there as well. And now Clem once again back in control after Serral made that minor mess up. But minor mess ups are a thing you usually can't afford against the French Terran player, who says, okay, you messed up. Now it's my turn to be out on the map again. Now it's my turn to have some fun. You know what they say, Frenchies, they just want to have fun. And, well, Clem is ready for it. 5th command center on the way as well as... yeah, the one thing he has been lacking so far this game was scans. And I'm a little bit sad that we didn't really see Serral abuse that more by getting a higher lurker count and really putting the pedal to the metal with those lurker pushes. It feels like he transitioned out of the lurkers, like kind of rushing into a late game, while he might have had the opportunity to finish the game here. His position is still not bad, but it feels like his position should have been better, because he probably should have been in the loading screen already, back in the lobby for the next game. You know, he's like, well, I mean, I'm all for longer games, and I like watching Serral and Clem play a long one, but I'm not quite sure if that was necessary. Okay, that turret actually ends up spotting the infestor, and it was really huge, because without that, you can either get a neural on one of these ghosts, or a little fungal. Like, there's a lot of options here. Clem once again moving in, wants to snipe one of these banelings. Sees legit like 40 banelings more. He's like, meh, perhaps we'll come back another day. If right now is not a good time for you, sir. We'll be here tomorrow again as well. That's no problem. We'll just come back. We'll just go home. I'm not worried. Oh, this is going to be a big attack. There's a lot of tanks here as well. Blinding clouds are going to be hitting 4 out of the 6 tanks. These ghosts are going to chase rather than sacrifice into the planetary. Surely that is a mistake here out of Serral. Kills 5 out of the 6 tanks, but lets the planetary live. This was not a great trade resource-wise, but perhaps factory time-wise this was okay. So obviously there's very limited factory time with only 2 factories out. And what's happening right now is that there's no real tanks on the right side, but it feels like Clem isn't really too keen on defending anyway. He's pushing forward, takes out a base, should probably move back with this army right now. He's going to pick up this army as well. And this is such patient and an absolutely key play in this matchup. It is as a Terran, it's defending something, knowing that the Zerg is busy remaxing, trying to get those lurkers out or get banelings out. Ooh, Serral just accidentally exploded some banelings on these rocks. And then taking out a base during that reproduction phase, during that phase of rebuilding. And that is very key. That is very key. So Serral right now, well, still on 2.8k mineral income. That is very big. But could have been on more if this base still was mining. And it isn't more. And that is also important. Ling, Hydra, Bane, once again moving in towards this base. Ghost in position. Is this the fight we can take? I don't know if this is a fight we can take. These Banelings are going to connect finally with the Ghost though. So 4, 5, 6 Ghosts are going to fall maybe. Something along those lines. These were the first... Oh, 3 Ghosts only. He's lost 3 Ghosts. I thought he lost like 5 there. Holy crap. Okay, so once again, probably not an absolutely brilliant trade here out of Serral. We'll reset once again a large portion of that tank count. We're still at 8 though. 2, 3, 4, 5 on the left side. It means we should have about 3 on the right side. Yeah, there's 3 there right now. 2 more are popping out. Yeah, 5 tanks is too many to engage into, I think, with these kind of standard-looking armies. Greater Spire on the way for Serral. Could start transitioning into Broodlords at some point, but I don't think that point is right now. I think we need to wait a little bit longer to get these Broodlords out. Snipes going down. Pop, 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 pop. Hydra's biting the dust. This is a very ambitious creature. Look at this queen, man. Not afraid of anything. Maybe no one informed the queen that there was just an absolute assassination here of a bunch of Hydras. He called it in a little late. He's like, up, I'm going back home. No shot, I'm staying around building a creep tumor over there. It's always fun to see that... oh, all that thought. As this position looks good for Clem. This is also a risky fight, by the way. If there's like 3 more tanks in the back, Serral walks up that ramp. Could just end up losing like 20 extra links for free or so. This could be an important fungal, by the way. If that fungal hits. Look at that. Bam! Oh, it's not a fungal. It's a neural. It's going to neural, and the infestor even gets to escape. Freaking James Bond over here. See that scan, and Clem's like, hey, where did that come from? Where did that come from? We're going to need to see some turrets here on this high ground. Ooh, Serral believes he can attack up onto this high ground. I am not sure if I'm in agreement with him there. Oh, that was like 10 supply down the drain for Clem. That was a lot more loss for Serral, wasn't it? Oh, good scan. Saw that. What is this? This guy is getting infected over here, or infested. Oh, yeah. The polar bear remains completely white. No creep, no purple goo on the fur of the polar bear. So that makes me happy. This looks... it's an interesting game, that's for sure. There's not too many tanks anymore on the right side, and I love this rotation here. Clem is too slow with the defensive rotation. He's going to lose this base as a result of that. That's going to open up this right side in a major way right now. Without a planetary there, that command center also falling. We do see a cancel. This was a fantastic fight here for Serral. Just too slow, Clem, with that rotation, with that defensive rotation. And that's just really painful. Because it's going to allow your opponent to enter this area again and again and again in the future. Now, Clem, of course, is aiming for that split map scenario right now. And Serral is aiming for anything but a split map scenario. As he immediately starts taking this base. It's like, hey, if this one isn't here, then the launching pad, the anchor on the right side, it isn't there no more. And that means that this base might be easier to take. This left side base, however, might be in a little bit of trouble. Clem starts sieging that soon. And don't forget, if we get a complete split map scenario, that usually is good for the Terran because they trade more efficiently. This fight, however, well, Not sure if it's going to be more efficient, but it's going to be a very important fight here for Serral, because he's actually kind of breaking through right now. Link streaming in high ground ramp should be able to be capped. Oh my god, does he spot that? This is a brilliant position for an infestor, by the way. I absolutely love that. Absolutely do love that. We see some inaction here out of Clem on that left side. Here comes the infestor, and here comes the big neural, decently sized EMP. 5, 6 of those ghosts are now without energy. Still an infestor burrowed over here as well. More burrowy boys are trying to get in. Look at that. You can hardly see it, but you can see it. There's a little bit of an animation. There is a tell there under the ground that something is creeping towards you. Vehicle plating, level 1 being researched. Was that a depot drop that I just saw in front of my eyes? Yep, I did. Wow, that's kind of crazy. Means he must have lost it. Well, he did lose a lot of depots in the natural. There's a single lurker over here in that natural as well. This position still completely open. Serral desperately trying to get this base back. Hasn't mined a single Vespine gas yet over here. Oh my god. This bad boy is going to make a difference, isn't it? Look at him, look at him, look at him. He's waiting. Lurking in the shadows. Here comes the neural once again. EMPs absolutely all of these ghosts. Clem in a world of trouble right now because he cannot get the final shots off. Usually, and this is really one of the biggest strengths of the ghost. And let me tell you, if something is the big... Oh, hold that thought actually. Yes, we get a big fungal as well over here. And now these banelings are going to connect. And now all of the ghosts are dead. And that is not looking good for our French Terran player. What I was going to say is that one of the biggest strengths of the ghost is that they can snipe units when they walk away. They can snipe when a Zerg tries to retreat. And you just get like another 500, 600 or sometimes even 1 or 2k in resources lost added onto the Zerg bill. But if you don't have these snipes ready for that, then it's basically just a Marine on steroids. And trust me, Marine on steroids are very good with their auto attack, but that snipe is what makes them so darn brilliant. Oi, 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 oi. Serral is bleeding out a couple of units, but there's absolutely no ghost production right now. There's hardly any income for Clem. Serral on 4k mineral income, 600 gas as well, and he could up that gas count if he wants to. He's not mining from 4 extractors currently. That would be easy to keep. Could of course also take these extractors, but this base is in a little bit more trouble, so I understand why that is perhaps not quite the priority. At the same time though, Clem just so much trouble. These liberators trying to move forward, trying to siege up this position. They're still... How do these infestors just keep getting in there? It's really, really crazy. It actually is kind of wild. You love to see that. You absolutely love to see that. Here comes the infestor moving in. Should probably just go for a neural on a tank. Yep, neural of a tank in the back. Mine is going to hit the infestor, but I don't really think it's going to matter. Lurkers moving forward. Clem's trying to stay alive, but there's a Hydra knocking at your door, and there's banelings bursting through your door, and there's links eating your face. It is absolutely over right now, my friend. These mines are not going to be saving you. 2 more tanks are being sent in towards their death as well. GGG, the triple G. Good game gaming gets called as Serral wins this fantastic game on Berlingrad. A back and forth Terran versus Zerg between some of Europe's finest. I hope all of you enjoyed this game. I sure did. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see all of you next time for a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and bye bye.